Hello and welcome to Connect MKE. I'm your host, Denise Calloway. Thanks for being with us for our latest episode, where we're learning more about the importance of creating opportunities for individual and community success. High school seniors headed to college who applied to universities early will begin getting their early admission notices soon. For many students, that acceptance begins the process of figuring out how to pay for college. One local scholarship program is leading the way in helping students find the financial support needed to make college a reality. Joining us is Jerel Ballard, founder of Milwaukee's Finest Scholarship Foundation. He's here to tell us more about this scholarship opportunity. Jerel, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. What is the story of Milwaukee's Finest Scholarship Foundation? How did it begin?
Yeah, so the Milwaukee's Finest Scholarship Foundation originated in 2016, and I was actually 21 in college at the time when I started Milwaukee's Finest, and I primarily started it because I was a college student, and luckily it was a scholarship, a $1,000 scholarship that helped me get to the finish line, and without it, I wouldn't have graduated and received my bachelor's degree.
So normally when you're 21 years old, you are in school, you're not thinking that this is the time to start a scholarship program, or quite frankly at 21 that you have the resources to do this. What made you think that this was something that you could do to make scholarships and available to more young people?
Yeah, I can tell you that when my first thought was, where am I going to find the money? I'm a college student myself. All of my friends are college students. But it started with going back to the community and talking to my past educators. We all know that education is important, and the cost of higher education is a big factor that's stopping students from not only going to college, but also graduating college. So we kind of started a giving circle in a way, and created a criteria that allowed us to identify students of need, identify students of merit, and provide them with scholarships.
So you started this scholarship in 2016.
Mhm.
How many scholarships have been awarded during that time?
Yeah, so we're entering our seventh year now as a foundation. We have provided a little over 71 kids scholarships ranging up to $2,000 each. So just over $71,000 so far.
And as you mentioned, those scholarships are $1,000 to $2,000.
Mhm.
For a lot of young people, that last money in, as it's sometimes referred to, can really be the difference between going to college and not going to college.
Yep. I agree. So with our scholarship, and what is unique about Milwaukee's Finest is that we do allow students to make that decision on whether or not to send it to their institution, or they can use it for books, transportation costs, lodging, food expenses, because we all know that tuition dollars are not the only thing that is required to make it to that finish line. So having that extra resource can really go a long way, and it's what kept me in school.
This really was born out of your own personal experience. What difference do you think that makes when you're approaching individuals to ask them to help support Milwaukee's Finest Scholarship Foundation?
Yeah, I can tell you that scholarships do two things. They not only provide financial relief to the students, but it also allows students to have belief in themselves that they can achieve greater things. So when we look at selecting students and we're providing scholarship funding, it's great that they're receiving the funding, but it's also the mental side that I was chosen, and that I too can accomplish my goal, and that someone recognizes me for my accomplishments that will really help a student succeed as well. Although scholarships are great, it also just helps a student mentally know that I have a support system, and that I can do great things, and I'm a Milwaukee's Finest Scholar.
Let's talk a little bit about that support system that you provide. Some scholarships, the student receives the funding from the scholarship organization, and that's pretty much it. That is something that is unique about Milwaukee's Finest.
Yeah, I can tell you that what we like to do is really create a family. So not only once they receive this scholarship, and we have lots of partners with local businesses and community leaders, we put on a big celebration in the rotunda of City Hall. Usually the mayor will come join us. Students are recognized with their check. They get a nice signature glass award on the stage. So they get to say a few words. Sometimes the news is there as well to highlight them as a Milwaukee's Finest Scholar. But then after the curtains close, that's when the real work begins. That's when they go to college. So our goal at Milwaukee's Finest is to always be there, provide internship opportunities. We have great partnerships with local colleges where students can receive up to 3 college credits for interning with Milwaukee's Finest, but also creating a network for Milwaukee's Finest Scholars to continue to network with each other as they go throughout their college career.
And that network can really be important, particularly if a young person is a first generation, first in their family to attend college.
Yeah, I can tell you one of my favorite stories. A few years ago, we had 2 students from Milwaukee County. They went to college in California and they had no family, no friends in California. They're both going to 2 different colleges. But one of the students reached out and asked if I can provide contact information for the other Milwaukee's Finest Scholar. So then that way they can have a buddy, even if they're across the state. So Milwaukee's Finest allows students to go to any college, any university across the state. We have a lot of students here right home in Wisconsin, but we have students in Illinois, California, Texas, you name it, we might have a scholar there.
Now, as you mentioned, you really depend on kind of crowdsourcing or individuals coming to the organization to provide funding. Tell us a little bit about some of the organizations that support Milwaukee's Finest Scholarship Foundation.
Yeah. So what is unique about Milwaukee's Finest? Usually when you think of a foundation or a scholarship foundation, you're thinking of a room filled with well-connected, well-known individuals in the community. And we have that, but we also want to make sure that we provide a space for students, teachers, educators, parents, past scholarship recipients to sit on the board of trustees for Milwaukee's Finest. Our average donor is only $25, which is amazing when you look at the amount of money that we were able to fundraise. But a lot of the support comes from parents and educators in the community. And then we do have some local businesses that agree to sponsor scholarships as well. Like Golden Path Services, Skybox Sports Bar have sponsored in the past. We have a few local businesses that have stepped up to the plate.
Well, we have talked a lot about the scholarship, so let's give people who are watching a few details. What are the criteria for individuals to qualify for the scholarship, and when can young people begin to apply?
Yep. So I know that obviously going to college, we know that students who have a 2.5 are just as capable of achieving higher education as a student who has a 3 or a 4. So at Milwaukee's Finest, you only have to have a minimum of a 2.5 cumulative GPA. And you do have to participate in some extracurricular activities, whether that is in school or outside of school. And we do consider if you have a job on the side as part of an extracurricular activity because it's something outside of your school. So as long as you have those 2 things, you do have to complete an application. This year, the application will open on Tuesday, January 3rd. So directly after the new year, you can visit our website and then you will have about a month to submit your application. Will be due on February 5th, and students can create an account, start their application, come back and finish their application. There is an essay component, about 500 to 700 words, asking how has Milwaukee shaped you, and how do you plan to use your experiences from Milwaukee to excel in higher education. So answer that essay question, and that will put you in a good place.
Excellent. And you really have had not just a number of young people who've come through the program, but when you take a look at the success rate for young people who are Milwaukee's Finest Scholarship Foundation recipients, it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I can tell you that typically Every year we see about 200 applications. And since 2016, that has been on a steady rise. Last year, we had a 59% increase in applications. We provided 20 scholarships last year. Once again, scholarships ranging up to $2,000. But overall, our retention rate has been phenomenal. 100% of our scholars have either graduated or still in school and on their path to graduation. I believe last year we had about 12 scholars graduate. The year before that, we had about 5. This year, I believe we're expecting about 15 kids graduating. So not only are they making it to college, but they're succeeding in college as well.
Well, we're going to hear from one of those success stories from one of their students now. Isaac Wells Cage is a senior at UW-Madison studying industrial and systems engineering with a focus on supply chain management. Isaac, welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your story. What kind of a difference did it make for you to receive this scholarship from Milwaukee's Finest?
Yeah, so receiving this scholarship has helped me through my path to and through college, and it's been really monumental in helping me graduate. I'll be graduating this May. I'm really glad to say that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then I'll be taking this initiative. Like the whole idea is that you have it takes a community. So I'd like to come back and join my community. So I'll be going back to Milwaukee for at least a couple of years to kind of start off my career there. And it's definitely in part to programs like Milwaukee's Finest, and especially because of the scholarships that they've helped me with to be able to like pass through all these months of schoolwork. So, yeah.
What do you think that you would have been able to go to college, or would it have just been another bit of financial pressure on you that you'd have to face?
So I think that being in Wisconsin, having the local scholarships like Milwaukee's Finest have been the reason why I'm able to go to college. I have a tuition full ride scholarship at Madison. But then, as we all know, college is way more than just tuition. So having these extra costs and extra expenses help being paid for by Milwaukee's Finest has helped me stay afloat. I definitely think it's more than just a question of being in college, but actually surviving and thriving mentally in this institution.
Well, Isaac, clearly you are doing that. Congratulations again on your upcoming graduation. Jerel, thank you so much for having the foresight at a very young age to put together something that really is impacting and changing lots of different lives. You can get more information on Milwaukee's Finest Scholarship Foundation at the website mfsf.org, including how to apply and upcoming and how to apply or support upcoming scholarship opportunities. Coming up next, we'll learn the details of a bold vision for Milwaukee County.